I hope you're all listening to me. I hope I've grabbed your attention and that you're all here and you're going to stay with me. And this is what I want to talk about. At the next tip number 9, is that the best public speakers grab attention. And that word is very important. You have to grab it, you have to do it really quickly. Because what happens is you have very little time to make an impression, just about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Within the first 30 seconds of people meeting you for the first time, they make first impressions. They make impressions about you. Oh, this person is going to be interesting. Oh, she sounds like fun. Oh, I should maybe probably stick around and see what she has to say. You just have 30 minutes to, 30 seconds to 1 minute to grab attention. It's like when you go fishing, you have to put something in the water, in the bait in your hook, so that the fish will say, that looks interesting. I'm going to go closer and maybe even swallow that, right? Research actually says, again, that 50%, over half your audience, leaves within the first 10 minutes of your presentation. And they may not actually physically leave because, it's a school assembly and they can't actually walk out. They do not actually physically leave, but they'll check out mentally, which means that they'll stop listening to you because you're boring, you haven't been interesting in the first 5 minutes or so, and they'll maybe start checking on their WhatsApp. They'll think about, what am I going to do next? They'll start, thinking about their game strategy in their heads. They'll just check out. So you have very, very little time to make that first impression. So you have to make that first few seconds, the first few minutes count. How do you do that? Well, lots of different ways. Can you give me some suggestions? How do you make the first few seconds or the first few minutes count? What can you do? Give me some examples, please. Jokes. Yeah, you can tell a joke. That's right. Greeting them in an interesting way. Yeah. Friendly manner. Smile. If you smile, they're going to smile back at you. This is normal human behavior. If you smile at people, they will smile back. Starting the session positively, right? You can start with a riddle or a curious question. I like that. That's a very nice one. And in fact, one of the things that I was going to suggest is exactly this: create some suspense. Use a special word. Yeah. So if you say something like, mobile phones are the most boring things in this world. I wish they had never been invented. They're really boring. Immediately you get people's attention because everybody is disagreeing with you. How can she say this? How can she say mobile phones are the most boring things in the world? That's just not possible, right? And they're engaged and they're thinking. And then you ask them, do you agree with me? And they say, no, we don't agree with you. And so you've got interaction going. So you've got questions going. They're disagreeing. Even if they're disagreeing with you, that's great because it's engagement. They're not disengaged. They're actively disagreeing with you. And then you can make your arguments. And at the end, you can say, actually, you know what, guys, you were right. Mobile phones are not boring. They are actually very useful and they're very interesting. I agree with you. I just wanted to do that as a trick to get you to listen to me, right? So you can tell them a story. You can create some suspense. So you might say, I was actually thinking about a very boring subject that, very boring topic, which I could use as an example of how do you make a boring topic interesting. And I thought one of the most boring things is probably spoons. Let's say I have to make a presentation about spoons. Spoons. That's really boring. How do I make that interesting? Maybe I can make up a story about spoons and I can say, my grandmother died 2 years ago. And as she lay on her deathbed, she called me very close. She sent everybody else out of the room. She called me close to her bedside and she gave me 2 spoons. And she said, Shraboni, treasure these spoons forever because they are very, very special. And one day you're going to discover the meaning of these spoons. Stay with me in this presentation, and I will tell you at the end of the presentation how I finally found out what those spoons mean. And I can tell you, I can guarantee you that the spoons actually had held a long lost family secret. I'll come to that in a minute, right? This is how you can make even the most boring topics interesting. Just create some suspense, create a story, and keep them in the in the presentation because oh, but I can't leave because she hasn't told me what the spoons mean. What's that family secret? What's a mystery, right? You can create some suspense as well. So jokes, suspense, and lots of amazing ideas which came out from you, like riddles and mimicking, rhyming, all these kinds of things are there. And then you can, of course, use any kind of story that you can try. All right.